Are you nervous about the fight?
I'm scared to death.
You don't look scared?
I ain't supposed to.
Then you don't have to do it.
Yeah, well, I think I do.
And welcome to the debut episode 1 of Two Bros and a Bro. You can look at us and, kind of decide who are the two brothers and who's the bro. But I'm the bro. So yeah, welcome. This is a cool project that, we came up with. And, we're going to tell you who we are, why Two Bros and a Bro, why we're doing this. I'm Armando Alvarez, and who are you guys?
John David.
And I am the older and better-looking brother, Adrian David.
That's right. And look, we're all friends. Every time we get together, we have these awesome conversations about movies and music and sports and a bunch of other stuff. And a lot of it involves the Chappelle Show, which, one of the greatest comedy shows of all time. But, one day I approached you guys and I said, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do a podcast? This will be a lot of fun.
We talk a lot of shit.
that we do.
So let's just put it on tape and see if anybody enjoys it, wants to comment on it, and get a lot more different things to talk about.
Yeah, it's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, doesn't make any noise. So
yeah, and we want people to hear it.
We definitely want people to hear it. We're very opinionated. We got some takes because of all of the experiences that we've been through. So let's see what we've got for the listening audience.
And we'll tell you what this show's about. Two Bros and a Bro. It's going to be a pop culture show. Right now I'm wearing, and I got this because of Adrian over here, a McDowell's t-shirt, right? So McDowell's from Coming to America. If you don't know, I don't know. I don't know if we could be friends because I love that movie. Favorite movie of all time, but we'll talk about movies a little bit later. But, we're going to talk about everything. Movies, music, sports.
Yeah.
A lot about everything. So, it's going to be topics
Engagements and do we care?
Yeah. Real Housewives. We're going to talk about everything. But, and the cool thing is that you guys could write to us and, tell us what you want to hear about and argue with us too. I mean, the other day we were together at a fantasy football draft and one of our friends, Danny, we told him about the podcast. And it was just mentioning the podcast. He brought his chair over and started talking to us.
Yeah, let me just give him a plug. It's Mr. Westchestini. You guys may already know him. And if you don't, give him a follow. I was also going to say before we continue, if you don't know what McDowell's is, this might not be the podcast for you, right? So,
yeah, there's other podcasts that you can listen to. But Mr. Westchestini sat with us, and I left. I think he stayed talking to you, John.
We literally stayed for about an hour, and he gave me, I think, 150 topics in about 45 minutes to an hour. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I like them all. Let's get into it one at a time. It's just one of those things that guys just talk about. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting going into these subjects, discussing this stuff on air, just giving your real opinion, really. It's like, what are we talking about? Do other people have our opinions?
Probably not.
I mean,
we hope everybody has their own opinion, right?
Not to steal from the wildly popular Seinfeld show from yesteryear, but it's probably a podcast about absolutely nothing. Just things that we find interesting. So
exactly,
let's go with it.
But yeah, the plug that Adrian was talking about, Mr. Westchestini, he reviews espresso martinis. That's his thing. And he put, 4 glasses, 5 glasses. But yeah, definitely follow him. We'll plug him on our Instagram. But before we go into the topics, we want to tell you a little bit about ourselves. Adrian, if you want to kick it off, a little bit about you, your background, and why we're here. Why are you here?
Yeah, absolutely. Just, I'm an 80s kid, grew up in the 80s, love it. When Armando came up with the idea, I was absolutely on board with it. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm a teacher by day, podcaster by night, I guess. Love sports, love my Miami Hurricanes. Love my kids almost as much as my Hurricanes. Just kidding. Wifey's going to listen to that. So, just looking forward to it. This is actually mine and my brother's second show we did. We were on the Player Haters back in the early 2000s. I got to give my boy Chris Green a plug as well. We were on 790 back in the day, but that's a long time ago, and shameless plug there myself. So we're not new to this game, but we are kind of new to this game.
And the other side of the Player Haters is John David over here.
That's right. I'm also a family man. I got a lovely family, Savannah, Nico, and Enzo. Shout out to Karina for having those kids for me. Thank you. Yeah, I watch a lot of movies. I'm an avid movie watcher. I listen to a lot of music. I love sports. There's a lot of things that I like to get involved in conversation with. Usually I argue a lot because I have my opinion, and of course it's true. It's fact. So whatever everyone else thinks is, their opinion, but what I say is actually true. But aside from that, yeah, I just love the tea. I love, entertainment, that tea and entertainment. That's what I'm about. I like to hear rumors. I like to hear all kinds of good stuff that's happening and spread that information around, I should say. But
Absolutely. And yeah, you're right, definitely right about everything. You're gonna be right about it. When he gives his opinion, Adrian, we'll just shut down the show.
I'll quote Charles Barkley's book that stated, "I may be wrong, but I doubt it." So that's my creed. I follow that creed. So it's one of those things.
Last but not least, I'm the bro, not the two bros, but the bro, Armando Alvarez. I host another podcast, Up and In, with Mike Quintana on baseball. This is the fourth podcast I've done. I did a YouTube show once upon a time called Boxing During Dinner. Cool concept. We talked boxing and we ate dinner.
Hey.
I mean, and we had it over at Randazzo's, which was an amazing Italian restaurant, Mark Randazzo.
Yes.
And I also hosted another podcast, Out for the Count, another boxing podcast, the baseball one, and going to what Adrian was saying about radio. I also worked with Chris Green at some point at WQAM, and I worked there. I worked at NBC. I had Telemundo, Univision, 16 years as a television producer, and now I sell homes. So if you want to buy or sell or rent, call me. But beautiful wife Anna, my son Anderson, our kids are friends, which is great. So yeah, that's a little about us.
Yep. Good stuff.
And I was going to say, you've got the trophies to prove it. The audience can't see it now, but behind the camera are 5 Emmys, right?
Five Sports Emmy Awards.
Sports Emmy Awards. Congrats. Mazel tov, as they say.
Thank you. And
Who says?
And
They say.
and
Whoever they are.
They are.
and Mike from Up and In, he's always talking about it, and I'm like, man, you talk about the Emmys more than I do, but no, proud of having those Emmys because it was team effort. All of those Emmys there were for soccer productions. So a lot of USA Mexico, Copa America, soccer pregame. So, my former career, which I absolutely love, but now I have more time to do stuff like this with my friends.
Fourth time's a charm. Listen.
Hey, so last year, actually earlier this year, I helped produce the last Super Bowl for Telemundo.
Okay.
And that submission for the Emmys isn't till next year because it's a 2025.
So you're saying number 6 is coming? You're trying to catch up to Brady or what? What's
Possibly.
All right.
So, but look, that's a good segue, because in the TV and radio world, segues are an easy way to go from one topic to another. He mentioned Super Bowls. We're going to talk about Travis Kelce. The NFL season kicks off this weekend. And tomorrow, I mean, we're recording this on a Thursday night, and the AFC champions are back in the news. Not because Pat Mahomes is looking for another MVP or another Super Bowl, but because Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift
Drum roll.
are engaged. And everybody is in an uproar and happy and pissed or whatever, if you're a Swiftie or not, or if you're a KC fan or not. Your daughter's happy?
Yeah.
So do we care about this or do we not care? Do we care more about the NFL season? I care more about the NFL season. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm excited. But do we really care so much?
No, I'm a sports guy. You're a sports guy. My brother's a sports guy. I don't think I care. But just to kind of bring it, around, I guess, my students in class the other day interrupted me to let me know that Taylor Swift was engaged to Kelce. I'm like, listen, we're talking about interesting things like balancing equations and
Right.
and the theory of the pie.
Mr. David.
So yeah, no, to me it's really not that important. I'm more of a sports guy. It's great. I don't get as annoyed, as other people that when I sit and watch games with other people. All the shots, everything that Kelce does or doesn't do, they're always, showing Taylor on the camera there. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I'm more indifferent, I would guess. I'd say so. Nah, not a big deal to me.
It's
congratulations to them, but
football's entertainment, right? So the earlier you learn that in life, kids, football is entertainment. I'm not saying it's skewed in a certain direction, but producers understand this, especially you, Armando. You understand this.
Yeah.
You're getting ratings. So the more they put, her on TV, the more ratings they're going to get. Good, bad, or
100%.
indifferent. So, it's one of those things. I mean, I just looked it up. He paid about, I don't know, it's between $500,000 and $600,000 for the ring. It looks like
600,000. Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
I mean, it seems pretty cheap. If you're talking ring prices in famous people, I mean,
how much was J-Lo's?
I think it was a few mil. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we're talking, like, how much does he actually love her?
Wait. Was it which one of the J-Lo's? It's a lot of engagement rings.
That's true. I think it was the A-Rod. The A-Rod one. I think the A-Rod one was the most expensive. I got to look back, but I mean, it could have been Mark. I don't know. I think he already got her pregnant. Gotcha, bitch. So. Yeah, I'll have to do some research on that one. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's in the news. We're talking about it. So it's relevant, I guess, in pop culture for a minute, maybe even a second. Yeah, we are more excited about football coming up. I mean, it's been a dry summer. We had a little bit of soccer going on. Baseball was a little dry. It's coming into October.
Hey, we already started watching football. I spent the weekend watching football with you guys, and we got to give a shout out to
that's
the U.
That's right. Let's give it up. Give it up.
And they look good. They look good. They almost gave us a heart attack, but they look good.
That's what makes the season exciting. Those up and down moments throughout the game, and yeah, fantastic. Let's go Canes. Let's see what we can do this
Convicts
year.
versus Catholics Part 3. If you haven't seen it, just know that we won the game. That's all that matters. Let's move on.
That's all that matters. That's it. So, going back to celebrity couples.
Yes.
Kelce and Swift are not the first.
Yeah.
And, you guys could name one also, but I wanted to talk about Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. That was like the first big celebrity couple. And if you go to pick, between, Joe D and Marilyn or Swift and Kelce, don't tell any Italians that you're picking Kelce or Swift. They'll be like, hey, with all apologies to Mr. Kelce and Mrs. Swift, Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe, that's the couple.
The only other couple I can think of that would even get in that same realm, I mean, again, it's on the other side of the pond, would be Victoria and David Beckham.
That's it.
That's the only other couple in this, last 30, 40 years. But yeah, Joe D, I think that if they were in today's age, they would be ridiculous. It would be like, it's just one of those things that you can't compare. I mean, yeah, Swifties, they have their own army. Okay. She's like, I guess, more famous than Kelce, right? So like Kelce played with Mahomes. He's not the man on the team. Mahomes is the man. I mean, Joe D was the man on that team. Right? I mean, you know more about baseball than I do.
Yeah, and Marilyn Monroe, I mean, aside from being an actress, she sang for President Kennedy.
Yes.
Amongst other things.
Well, amongst others, she did a lot of things for President Kennedy, but that's a whole other show and a whole other podcast. We won't get into that. John, we kind of stole my thunder with the Becks and Posh from across the pond, but the only other one that I can think of that maybe got close to that was the one that we already mentioned, was J-Lo and A-Rod. That was a pretty big one as well.
That's a good one.
And, A-Rod got her a bigger diamond, so he spent a little bit more money on that diamond than Kelce did.
I got a couple runner-ups.
Who you got?
I got Enrique Iglesias, Anna Kournikova.
And they're still married.
They're still together.
They're still married.
And we still together. So yeah, that was a pretty big one. That lasted for a while. And even our hometown boy, D Wade and Gabrielle Union, like they made some waves. They got some headlines. They're up there. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about the big ones. Those are the big ones. So we just mentioned.
So one time, and you guys know the story. One time I was in Vegas for a boxing fight. It was for Shane Mosley against Winky Wright, the second fight. So this is 2004. My brother and I are walking through Mandalay Bay, and we see Gabrielle Union on a date, or at least having a drink, with Steve Urkel, Jaleel White.
Nice.
And you know, she's
I do that?
she's an attractive girl. So my brother and I, we see her. We're like, oh, look, you know, it's Gabrielle Union, you know, from the movies, Bring It On, and this and that. And then we look and we're like, Urkel? And he kind of looks at us and notices we're looking, looks at her, looks at us, and gives us kind of like the, oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if he would have looked at you and said that line? That would have been. That's how you should tell the story. Let's take two and take that story over and just say that's what he said to you.
Do you remember that time that you saw Steve Urkel and Gabrielle Union? Remember that? That was awesome.
You know, by the way, he's a pretty good hooper. I've seen him on a couple celebrity games. Jaleel can ball. He had some games.
Didn't him and who did he team up with on the
show?
Was it like Grandmama or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was
Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson,
correct.
Grandmama. Yeah. So he got some game to him, and apparently he's got game on the court and off the court if he's pulling somebody like Gabrielle Union. So.
Absolutely. What was his alter ego? Stefan or Quell or something like that?
I think it was Stefan or something.
Stefan.
Like that. Yeah. That was a good one.
But Laura Winslow, come on, Laura. I mean, you didn't like him with the glasses, and when he was all nerdy, he would do everything for you. But he just removed the glasses, started talking
Clark
slick,
Kent, bro.
and all of a
Clark
sudden,
Kent
come
Superman.
on.
Listen, that's how it goes down. One other couple that's not as famous, but I mean, she was one of my favorites. I would say about 10, 15 years ago. Kate Upton and Justin
Verlander.
Yes. Like that's
Still married.
That's a power couple.
But
Still married.
They're nowhere near next to some
No. I mean, she was a Sports Illustrated model. She was,
The one that came to mind too when I was thinking of sports couples was the first couple of tennis. Remember Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf got together too?
Yeah.
They were really at that. But neither of them as famous as Kelce and
he
and
before
Swift.
that, wasn't he married to Brooke Shields?
Yeah, that probably might have been an even bigger thing. So, but yeah, they definitely are.
What happened to Brooke Shields? I mean,
She got old.
have you seen her lately?
Yeah.
Brooke Shields and Caitlyn Jenner are the same person.
No.
They go look at a picture right now. They're about the. I think they are like they turned into the same person. They morphed into like the same person.
Brooke Shields was beautiful. I can't say the same thing about Bruce Jenner, but
I mean, listen, go back and look at a picture. We're gonna post a picture.
Are they ever in the same place at the same time?
They're not.
No, okay.
Oh, man.
Your theory might have some legs. We got to research it for our next show.
John's going the route of the first lady of France, and but that's a whole other thing for another show. But you know, Taylor Swift is one of those artists that you talk to our wives, and in fact, my wife went to a movie theater to watch one of her concerts, a movie theater, and they were singing at the top of their lungs and going crazy and all that. My boy John over here and his wife Karina and a few other ladies went to see Backstreet Boys in Vegas. They invited us to go, but we were broke and couldn't make it. But
in the Sphere,
but it was
saw the Backstreet Boys in the Sphere of all places.
By the way, I'm broke as well. We just said YOLO. YOLO.
He said, forget it. Well,
YOLO. I'm gonna tag along. It's one of those once in a lifetime things that especially my wife. She loved the Backstreet Boys growing up. I mean, I was a fan. Little background, I'm a DJ as well, so I've been DJing for the last 25, 30 years. So I love their music. I like all pop music. I love all music in general. But, it was one of those opportunities. They mentioned that they were only going to be around for 2 weeks. So we said, let's buy a plane ticket and go. Let's do this.
Nice.
Let's do this.
No, and it looked like a lot of fun, which got me thinking, for what bands or singer, artist, whatever you want to call it, would you pack up last minute and travel for? And it can't be one that's actually on tour now because you can just buy tickets, but one, and they have to be alive. You can't resurrect Prince, because if not, we would all go see Prince and play basketball and eat pancakes.
Game blouses. For me, I know you said they can't be alive, but actually, I don't know if they're touring anymore. I didn't look it up. I guess I should have. And I didn't know you were going to put that premise that they got to be alive. But for me, the band I would drop everything for would be Queen. And I think we could still go see them. They got, Adam Lambert as the lead guy now, and John Deacon is no longer around. So it's kind of like the abridged version of Queen. But if I could go back in time to 1987 or 1988 and see them in person with Freddie Mercury and Roger, oh my God, I forgot, Roger Taylor and all the original cast members, that would be the one that I'd go to.
Very good movie, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a good job on that movie, but Queen is a good one. I think, that would be great. I mean, currently, just by going to Backstreet Boys, my go-to in my thought process would be NSYNC. It would have to include Justin, but I think if NSYNC came in concert and Justin was part of it, it would be like one of those, pack up the car or jump on a flight and let's go do this. Because, it's one of those nostalgic, you grew up with them kind of thing, more in your realm of like New Kids on the Block type thing, but they are touring at times. So, again, one of those pop things, there are other groups. NSYNC is one of those groups where, back and forth between Backstreet. And I got an argument with my wife about this. Like, she's like, Backstreet's better. And I'm like, no, NSYNC's better. So at the end of the day, we're still having the same argument probably 25 years later, and they haven't toured in 25 years. So it's like, they're still relevant. If Justin decides to do it and they do it, I'm there. I'll go to that.
And look, and I'll agree with you. I think for me, it's NSYNC with Justin. And I think NSYNC is the superior band to Backstreet Boys. If you go down the list of songs, it's just, hit after hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
Then you could go into Justin's solo career and it's hit after hit after hit after hit. And he had the Super Bowl moment with Janet Jackson. So you gotta go NSYNC. But if we were to go, obviously people that are no longer with us, would have to be Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see Michael Jackson when he was going to do the concerts at the O2 Arena. And at that time, I was pretty broke because I had just bought an apartment and I was making not too much money working early in my television career. But I had plans to go. I didn't care how much, I had to put on my credit card. And then he died. So that kind of sucked.
He's number one.
Yeah, he's number one on my list
he's number
too.
one.
Yeah.
I have it written down right here. But it says not possible. I actually did see MJ in a hologram in concert, which was pretty cool. But at the same time, obviously, it's not the same. It was one of those Cirque du Soleils.
I was going to say, we went to that show together, and that was the closest we ever got to Michael Jackson, was seeing the Cirque du Soleil version of it, on stage. And it was like, you felt his presence there, but obviously he was no longer around.
But the music lives forever.
So
it's one of those, it's in the car, you're listening to it. You're not turning it off. You're jamming to it. Whenever I do DJ a party at times here and there, I'll put an MJ song on when everything's stale and everybody gets up and starts dancing. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's just timeless. It's forever.
So when I would go to Vegas to cover boxing, they had a Studio 54 at MGM Grand, and every night, no matter what night you would go, when they would start, so they have background music, but when they would start the party, the first song that would play, they'd have a big projector, and it was "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough," and that song would kick it off, and then they would go through the other songs, and then it was a big party. But how about if you had the chance to see Corey Feldman as Michael Jackson? No, hard pass.
I've seen it. I've seen it, and I've seen it on the Howard Stern show. And
goodness!
I think
what was that song he said? Oh goodness!
Does it even matter?
You know what? Every time it pops up on if I'm doing the Instagram thing or social, looking through TikTok videos, I can't take my eyes off of it though. Every time it comes on, I got to sit through the entire thing. Exactly.
To quote a movie that I'm sure we've all seen many times, Tropic Thunder. Never go full retard. You never go full retard. It just doesn't work. Yeah. So. Listen, he's going with it. He's lived this probably like now, a good amount of time. So he thinks he might be MJ. To get back to your point about the Backstreet Boys concert, I don't think that they have or had the capacity to understand what the Sphere did for their concert. I mean, if you're going to do a Millennium type concert, which that was one of their albums, I believe it was the Millennium, it's like it fit perfectly into their whole aura. Like this place. If you've never been to the Sphere, get to the Sphere. I don't care what you're doing. If you're watching like paint dry, if you go to the Sphere and get in that place, it's like literally the best thing you've ever been to in your life. Like, it's ridiculous. Everything around you, you just feel so enthralled with everything that's happening. Like, it made the concert that much better. And I've been telling everyone about it, and they're like, stop. So at this point, I will stop after this conversation. But yeah, it's just, I mean, again, Backstreet Boys was great. Fitting into that category of being in the Sphere, like, it just elevated them to like a totally different level that they couldn't have even imagined themselves, I'm sure.
Armando, is the Sphere one of our sponsors? Because this guy just...
I know, right? Sphere, if you want to pay us, you definitely can. How about Corey Feldman at the Sphere?
I think I would go see Corey Feldman at the Sphere. It'd be one of those things. It's like, listen.
Corey Haim on hologram, maybe?
Oh, whoa. The two Coreys? We're going to go?
The two Coreys,
The two Coreys.
And the two Coreys were in some pretty memorable movies.
Yes.
When we were growing up. License to Drive is my favorite one from the Coreys. But goes to our next topic. Our all-time favorite movies. And we have so many that it's hard to just pick 3. But I gave ourselves, the 3 of us, homework to come up with 3 movies. So we'll start with John this time.
We're gonna start with me. First of all, Lost Boys was my favorite Corey's movie. I thought that was a great one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, I mean, I rattled my brain today because I have so many movies running around in my head. I literally had to text you guys and say, like, this is all I thought about for the entire day. This was like the toughest decision I made since, I don't know. It's crazy what I had to go through.
It's naming your kids.
Yeah, that was easier than picking these movies, to be honest. But my number 1, just so you guys understand, Brad Pitt is one of my favorite actors, probably my favorite actor. So the top number 1 movie for myself is Fight Club.
Nice.
Fight Club, it just hit me a different way. It has a lot of quotes in it that just, like picked me apart. And like, it's kind of my creed, things I live by, certain things. I'll give you one of the quotes. One of the quotes is, the things you own end up owning you. Like, that's deep. That's not just a movie line. That's like something that stays with you. The things you own end up owning you. I mean, I'm in debt. So,
and dude, Edward Norton, another great actor.
Yes, yeah. Again, it's one of those. I mean, it's on so many levels. It's so many things that happen.
And Meatloaf was in that movie. Meatloaf
was in that movie.
That scene.
That's right. Yeah, rest in peace, Meatloaf. Meatloaf was in that movie.
He was also in Wayne's World.
That's true. That's a good point. I'll give you one other quote because there's so many, but one of them is, "It's only after you've lost everything that you are free to do anything." So again, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the movie. I've seen the movie over 150 times. So I'm only? Only.
That was just this past week.
Oh, well, listen, I was busy at work. But yeah, it's just things like that. They throw those quotes out, and I grasped onto them, and I thought it was amazing. My number 2, are we going to go down the line, or are we going to?
No. You could go down your 3.
Okay, so I had to pick a different genre because there's so many movies. So I decided to go the gangster route. For the gangster route, this movie I've probably seen also 150 times, and I quote it probably at least once or twice a week. It's Scarface, classic. I'm sure everyone's seen it. I'm sure everyone quotes it. I'm sure at some point.
All the time.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Like if something comes up, you're just like, Tony.
And like the one line that's like so underrated from that movie is when he goes up to the girl and he goes, "Hey, Saurosura, you want to have some ice cream with my friend and me?" And Manolo's like, "No, Tony, you're doing it all wrong. Watch what I do." And he's like, "Look at this kid. Look.
Yeah,
It's like
put that back in your mouth.
Freaking lizard.
Looks like a lizard." Yeah, again, it's one of those movies. I mean, it's a 3-hour movie, but it doesn't feel like it.
No,
it feels like it goes by so fast. And if you haven't seen it, I'll give it a quick plug. I heard they were going to remake it. I think it's a mistake. That's a different subject for a different time, but
leave it alone. Leave the classics alone.
Leave the classics
That's
alone.
my opinion.
And you mentioned something the other day when we were talking about the remake. It's supposed to be with Danny Ramirez, who's from Miami, big Canes fan. He was at the game the other day, and and you said no, they should pick an Italian.
That's right. You
to play.
cannot have an Italian playing.
You had Al Pacino, Robert Loggia, and F. Murray Abraham playing Cubans.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I mean you can't make that up, but hey, it worked.
Yep,
it worked.
It worked.
Tony, you want Elvira? You want Elvira? $10 million.
$10 million, Tony.
What's up? You know what a hasa is, Frank?
Also, an underrated scene, and I know we brought this up, and I mean, we might look like idiots on the podcast, but there's a scene when I can't think of his name, when he was dancing in the car, waiting for Tony to walk up, and he's just like,
Yeah, that's the F. Murray Abraham.
yeah.
Omar.
It's. I mean, again, every scene is just an amazing scene. I quote it all the time. So yeah, that's my number 2. And then and my number 3, after a long conversation in my brain, I had to go Back to the Future. And it is a comedy. So it actually kills 3 categories. So it's sci-fi, it's a comedy, and it's an adventure movie. So I quote that movie all the time as well. And there's certain things that happen in that movie that started happening in real life. So they start getting confused in the news. And whenever they bring up something, they're like, it's like Simpsons, but did Back to the Future create this, or this happened and it was,
Because of Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's crazy to me, but
Then they have the Miami team winning the World Series.
yeah.
Miami didn't even have a team.
But it was the Sharks. So
It was
they
the
were-
Sharks.
No, it
yeah.
wasn't the Sharks.
No,
It was
the
the
Gators.
Gators.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the Miami Gators.
Oh, that was the shark that tried to bite his head off.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
In the- at
it
the
was
movie.
Jaws 17 or something like that. That was part 2. But yeah, Back to the Future, I have to go with it. It was a lighthearted comedy. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. We'll get into trilogies probably again on another podcast. But Back to the Future, I mean, it has everything.
Another great actor from our childhood, Michael J. Fox. Many
Yeah.
movies during the 80s, not only Back to the Future, we talk about Teen Wolf, The Secret of My Success, right? Like, there's just a bunch of them. He just kept it.
And Family Ties, yeah.
Yeah.
Alex P. Keaton, you'll never forget him.
Yeah,
So,
great. So those are my current 3. I mean, I have plenty of other favorite movies, but I had to go different categories. I had to go different ideas. But I could watch if those movies came on TV right now, I'd watch it. If I'm anywhere and I see it, I won't flip the channel. And in an era where everyone's flipping a channel every 2 seconds or going to a different YouTube video or going to this and that, it's like one of those things where if it comes on TV, you're sitting there watching it. I mean, I am.
Well, Adrian and I can even mention our movies because John said that his opinions are facts. So that's it. We're done.
I tend to agree because
Podcast
here's
is
the
done.
thing. The premise that you gave us, Armando, was kind of unfair. Like I was really upset with you when I had to start thinking about this because even within like a comedy genre,
There's a lot.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow down to 3, but I tried, and the first one has to do with actually what I'm wearing. Let me see if I could stand up and I could see that.
Hell yeah.
Can you see that? So that's my number 1 movie. A movie that goes
Well,
by the
mention it for those that are only listening on on Spotify.
Goodfellas, fantastic movie. The gangster genre, the mafia genre, is my favorite genre of movies. There's all the greats with the Godfathers and the Donnie Brascos, but Goodfellas, Casino, I can't forget about Casino, but Goodfellas to me, supposed to be like an action movie as well, but the comedy within it, the roles that De Niro and Pesci and Ray Liotta is just fantastic. It's my number 1, and
that to this day, every time I watch it and Joe Pesci's about to get made, I'm like, come on, stop! Like, don't come on,
don't walk into the garage,
man. It's like he had it coming, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you feel bad, you're like, oh man, and every that scene I just replayed in my head over and over again.
Yeah,
great movie.
Well, Goodfellas is a true story.
Yeah, it is.
So
Based on a true story. Well, the directors and they take some liberties with it. Like the Joe Pesci character that you just brought up, the real guy was like a 6'4" maniac from what I read.
Yeah.
And things like, he wasn't a little guy like that. But I feel like
Joe Pesci, like my height.
yeah, the little guy in the movie, it made it that much better for the movie screen. So that's my number 1 movie. Then I wanted to go comedy. I wanted to go drama. And then, but I decided to keep it like, I stayed out of the comedies because, there's so many comedies. I'm sure you're going to talk about your favorite movie in a
Yes.
second, and we know it's a comedy. But my second one was The Shawshank Redemption, which
Oh.
that's another one that if it's on, like John Boy was saying
100%.
earlier, there's certain movies that once you click on that channel, you just can't leave them. You're sitting there on the couch or wherever you're watching it, and I just can't turn it off. And I thought Shawshank Redemption, another like 3-hour long movie, right? It didn't seem like it. Morgan Freeman was great in it. Robbins was great in it.
Robbins is good, yeah.
Just another fantastic movie. And then with my last one, I went one with a twist ending, which the first time I saw it, my jaw dropped. When just like the character in the movie, Chaz Palminteri, like his jaw dropped. I'll give you guys a hint. You guys know what it is?
100%.
You know what it is, do you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so The Usual Suspects. Loved it. A lot of a great cast ensemble with, Chaz and Kevin Spacey and Benicio del Toro, who happens to be one of my favorite guys.
Kevin Pollak was in it too.
Pollock was in it, and
Stephen Baldwin.
and one of the Baldwin brothers.
Yeah.
I was going to say. So those are my top three. I really, I was actually thinking about this during school today. I should have been planning for my test. And I'm sitting here thinking, what are my top three movies that I can share on our first podcast here? So that's what I got. Agree with John. There's three is too few to name because I love all the ones that John Boy mentioned as well.
No, and us three, we talk about so many movies that we love that it's almost it's hard. My number one's my number one, which is Coming to America, and talk about quoting movies. I quote that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I love quoting that movie, and as a boxing guy, that scene in Mighty Sharp, the barbershop with Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano. Joe Louis, 147 years old. It's a good one. And look, I've heard an argument, and I'm not gonna say that how valid it is or not. But if you've watched the movie, you understand. But if you haven't, watch it because Eddie Murphy plays how many different roles in the movie?
Probably like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
two guys in the
it's
barbershop. So
two guys in the barbershop.
Randy
He plays
Watson.
Randy Watson, plays Hakeem. So at the least, he plays 4. And the range that he displayed in that movie, and I'm just talking from an acting standpoint. The guy was fantastic.
Super talented.
I mean, if you didn't know, if you don't know Eddie, then you wouldn't even be able to tell that it was him in those roles. And it's just
I think you just ruined it for somebody. Somebody didn't know that.
oh
was
my
Eddie-
God, that was Eddie Murphy.
That was Eddie Murphy in the barbershop.
I didn't stick around for the credits. No, but it's such a great movie. The Miss Black Awareness Rally, So Glow, who that song is sung by a white guy.
Yes.
That's right.
And
That
it's
recently surfaced and like blew everyone's mind.
yeah,
I actually
mind
didn't
blown.
know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. It's insane, but that was amazing. Like,
The Prince of So Glow.
and actually, it was to your point. My brother-in-law, Eliam, giving you a little plug here. That was his favorite movie too, growing up. So it's
Nice.
like it's one of those things that it's one of my favorite movies. Also, it's just not my top movie, but everybody loved that movie. So if like the younger generation is missing out, like go watch that movie. Don't watch part 2, but go watch part 1.
And don't pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes. I think it gave it like a 60 something.
Yeah. We can get into
Bullshit.
that too, but
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Complete
We'll get on that
bullshit.
subject later.
But I guess this is like a two-parter. My number 2, because I'm gonna go gangster genre, but it's a Godfather.
Okay.
And I like Godfather 1 and 2 just as much as one another. But again, the acting in that movie, Al Pacino as Michael Corleone, Marlon Brando as Vito. It's just a great movie, a great ensemble cast. And my favorite scene is when Michael takes out the police chief and I forget his name
The
now.
diner.
But at the restaurant, how they planned it, putting the gun over the toilet. It's such a good scene. And it's one of those scenes, kind of like I mentioned before with Joe Pesci. You see that scene over and over and over again, and you're like, I wonder if he's going to shoot, And it's like, is he going to get caught?
Is he gonna get away with it? Yeah.
You watch it like 100 times. And my third, again, like you guys, I had to like break my head for this because I was going to go another route, and then this movie popped into my head, and I go, no, that has to be it. Because to your point, Adrian, every time this movie's on, I can't not watch it. And it's Groundhog Day. I love that movie with Bill Murray.
Great
And he
movie.
relives the same day over and over and over and over and over again. And, you know, it's like, Phil Connors, is that you? You know,
Honky Phil.
dude, it's such a good movie. And people have, by the way, written by Harold Ramis, who was Egon with Peter Venkman and the Ghostbusters. But
Original Ghostbusters.
the original, the OGs. But such a great movie. And I read once that, you know, because I was like, how long did he relive that day? And according to an interview one time with Harold Ramis, I think the consensus was about 33 years.
Wow.
Could you imagine that? Reliving the same day
I mean,
for 33 years?
until you get it right.
And he got it right. He got Andy McDowell at the end. He knew how to play the piano. He became a chiropractor. He did a bunch of stuff.
Knew all the answers on
But-
Jeopardy. I mean, it was one of those things, you know.
But it's
I love that movie too.
it's a great movie. And in the next podcast, we'll talk about our number 4, 5, and 6.
We'll go through
No,
4
we're-
through 500.
4 through 1,000. Yeah.
We're going to talk about a lot of movies during this podcast. But before we go, we are going to give you one movie and one TV show which we recently seen and recommend. And I'll kick this off because I watched Naked Gun last night, the remake with Liam Neeson, and I thought Liam Neeson was great. I thought he was good. You know, he did a good job of playing that Frank Drebin character with that dry humor. I knew it was good because today I was thinking of some of the scenes and I was laughing by myself thinking of it. So, you know, kudos to them. You know, it was a good remake, and for, you know, comedies that have gone a little bit stale lately, it was refreshing
Quick
to
question.
see, you know, that slapstick humor still being around.
Could they have called it something else?
No, because it's more like I feel like these movies are kind of like an homage to the old films, and they do make mention of, you know, Leslie Nielsen and
they mention
in the
OJ?
movie. They do.
Oh, do they? They
have
mention
a,
OJ?
They have a quick little OJ reference.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I recommend
What was OJ's name in the original Naked Gun?
Nordberg.
Nordberg. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Nordberg.
Yeah.
And then the TV show Platonic on Apple TV.
Okay.
Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne, hilarious. This is their second season, and big shout out to one of the actresses on the show, Sophie Leonard. So Sophie Leonard plays Frances, Rose Byrne's daughter. In real life, like for real, like in the real life, in the real world, Sophie Leonard is the daughter of one of my very good friends, JJ Leonard, and his wife Jessica. Well, I was there the day they first, you know, became boyfriend girlfriend. I was there when they got married. I was there for you know, at their house when Sophie was born, and it's crazy that, you know, now, I mean, they don't live in Miami, so I don't get to see them. But I get to see Sophie on Platonic, which is cool. You know, she's 17 years old now, and it's pretty awesome that there's a good tie in there. But watch the show. You know, it's pleasantly, you know, it's surprisingly like great. It's Anna, my wife today, said it might be her new favorite show just because
All right.
it makes her laugh. You know, and Rose Byrne is fantastic. She's great.
I got to say, and I'm going to continue the Apple theme here. Apple TV has put out some great movies and some great series. And that's my recommendation. It's not really new, but it's kind of new because I think they've only had 2 seasons. We're waiting for the 3rd one now. And my favorite show on TV is like, it actually took a left turn from the things that I usually watch. And it's the show Silo. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yes.
I know, John, but you've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it. Armando.
I haven't seen it.
Fantastic. And I love shows that kind of show like, it's kind of like the reality of what's happening on this planet or even within this country. Like, you know, 150 years down the road and what we are heading towards. And I love to see, you know, shows like that kind of just maybe give you a glimpse. Whether that's going to happen or not, obviously we don't know. But that's the show that I would
it's gonna
recommend.
happen.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
All right.
Damn it! Now I gotta watch it.
No,
I gotta find
definitely
out.
gotta
Definitely
check it
got to
out.
watch it. It's got like
Catch up because season 3 is coming out,
Nice.
I think, in the fall
Yeah.
or maybe early next year. But yeah, be prepared to be mind blown, you know, because, you know, they
Yeah,
They
that final
deliver,
that final
yeah.
scene of in each
Season
in
2,
each
yeah.
season
Yeah.
leaves you like one of those like
Absolutely.
what is going on?
yeah.
That kind of thing.
And then for the movie, I mean, it's not really new. I would recommend, you know, like John was saying to all these young kids out here, all these millennials, anything from the 80s, any comedy, any feel-good comedy from the 80s, I would recommend. The one that popped up into my head was actually not from the 80s, but I don't know how many people have seen Forrest Gump. I love Forrest Gump and all of
Such a great film.
Historical references and how they weave him with all the different
Leave it to the
presidents.
professor to intertwine some kind of history lesson into our podcast.
Well, it was fantastic, all the things that he went through and all of the world events that happened in his lifetime and how they worked that movie in. So that's one of my favorite movies. So I didn't put it in my top 3, but it's definitely one of my favorite movies. And I would say something along those lines, something feel good from the 80s, or something like Forrest Gump, even from the early 90s, mid 90s. Something.
And on another episode, we'll talk about characters in movies that are either heroes or villains, because there's a very fine line. With one of the characters in that movie, a lot of people consider one of the characters a villain at the end. Kind of like the Karate Kid. But John, what are your recommendations?
So, just a little quick fact, and I think you guys already know this, but I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to movies, and every year I sit down and I get the list, just like the actors, and I look over it and all the movies that are nominated for Oscars. I sit down and I watch every single one of those movies every year.
Nice.
So I watch Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Film. I don't go into all the cinematography type stuff, but so I watch every movie. So I've seen a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of TV. This past year, there was one movie in particular, and you have to take it for what it's worth and just kind of understand the symbolism of it. So my movie that I think that everyone should watch is called Substance. It's with Demi Moore. It got nominated. She got nominated. It just shows, I believe, what I feel is happening or happens all the time with Hollywood, how they just, chew up young people. They take you for all you're worth, and then they spit you out. Yep. And it takes it to a different level. It gets to a point where it's just like, it gets pretty gory in the film. So they get pretty graphic, but you understand what what they're trying to get across. I really suggest you guys watch that movie. I don't know how many awards it won, but there's a lot of great movies that came out.
30.
Yeah. We could get into like the Oscar movies that won, that didn't win. I disagreed with the winner, but again, Substance, check it out. It's a very good, very like enlightening type movie. And then, Silo, I recommended that to you, so that's why you watched it. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
I'm recommending it to them.
Landman, actually, I think it's also on Apple or no, Paramount.
Paramount.
Okay, so Landman, very good. Billy Bob, a great actor, great. It's one of those shows that pulls you in, and you think at the beginning you're like, what am I really watching? Am I watching something like drilling oil type movie? But again, it's like one of those shows that kind of like he pulls you into their life, and you can't get away from it. It's only been one season. I think they're working on season 2 right now, and I think they even did a commercial on TV that mentions it kind of pulls the whole series into the commercial, like one of those "Can you hear me now" type commercials, which plays into that whole thing that it is bigger than people think. So if you haven't seen Landman, watch that, and then also, like I said, Substance is a very good movie. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of good TV, a lot of good movies. Netflix has, I don't think we mentioned one Netflix movie right now, but
we will. We'll give recommendations on all the podcasts, but
I watch Netflix daily. Not to go off on a tangent. Have you guys seen Too Fat for TV or Fit for TV or whatever?
No,
That's
not yet.
No? Oh my God, you need to watch that.
I'm watching the Cowboys.
That was
right
I need to start watching that.
Yeah.
Going on to Landman, that would have been a great segue. Yep. America's Team, watch that on Netflix. That was great. It was a 7-part series, pretty long, but it gives you the whole back history. If we're going to get to sports for a second, it gives you the back history on like Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson, how everything happened.
Gotta love Jimmy.
It literally became a pissing contest between these two, and they could have had probably the team of the decade. They probably could have done this for.
I think they still were. They still were the team of the decade.
I mean, they got
understand
three.
could
They
have
got
had-
three.
yeah.
They got three Super Bowls.
Even after Jimmy left, Switzer won a Super Bowl.
Which was part of the. I mean, watch it. He mentions that he goes, I could get 500 coaches to coach this team and they would win. So it was one of those. Jerry was just poking at Jimmy like you didn't do anything, but Jimmy drafted everybody.
Jerry's gonna be Jerry.
Yeah, and Jimmy's Jimmy. So again, it's one of those great series on Netflix, must watch kind of thing if you're a sports fanatic and you want to know the history of the game. I recommend it. I thought it was great. But yeah.
Yeah, so no, those are some good recommendations, and look, guys, we did it. We got through episode 1.
One quick question before we go, because I'm going to throw a question out that we didn't talk about. But if there is one restaurant you would recommend that you've been to in the last month, what would that restaurant be?
I don't know. I think we should leave that for another podcast. But
To be continued.
I'll say McDowell's.
McDowell's.
the Big Mick.
Not McDonald's.
Not McDowell's. But yeah, the recommendations on where to eat, we could definitely talk about that. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. I want to talk about The Rock and his new movie. I can't wait to see it because it's getting some Oscar buzz. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
right.
John will be watching it, and he lost a ton of weight. Him and Batista, they're looking like skinny older guys now. But hey, we gotta love The Rock. Again, former Kane. We gotta love Dwayne Johnson. But hey, this was episode 1 of Two Bros and a Bro.
Yep.
I hope you guys like it. Send us your feedback, what you want to hear from us, and if you see us out in the street or at the halls of St. Brendan,
That's right.
talk to us. Let us know.
That's where we kick it.
That's right. See ya.
Peace.